Please let me introduce myself. My name is Pavel Silha, and I'm working here in Czech Republic as the country director of Opel for Czech Republic and Slovakia. We are working here as a branch office in Prague in the framework of Opel Southeast Europe with headquarters in Budapest. And we are basically the classical importer of Opel cars into Czech Republic, covering new car sales, covering also after marketing, after sales, spare parts distribution, PR, and so on. And maybe this opportunity, I would like to mention that we are just now celebrating 20 years of Opel in Czech Republic, and we were created here really like the first, so to say, official importer of new cars on the market which were just created at that time. So we are like the pioneer of the new car market in Czech Republic with our brand. Speaking about advantages for making business in Czech Republic, in my opinion, one of the biggest assets or one of the biggest advantages is the stability of Czech market. Of course, there were some ups and downs in the past, but overall there were rather steady increase in GDP and in all those major factors. And I think this is one thing which is also being reflected in, let's say, people's confidence, and I think they have now quite a trust into their future. And the market is really steadily growing, more or less, so I think it is one of quite important parts for potential business partners who plan to make business here. For those who come here really for, let's say, producing or have some larger investment plans, I would also say that, and it is something which is very often being cited, but which I think is really true, that the people here are quite skilled and experienced in many branches of, for example, industrial production. And also I would mention, I think the Czech nature is also one thing that can be like very favorable, which is like a mixture of, let's say, German preciseness and also mixed with more skills for flexibility and creativity and so on. So I think this is also one thing to be taken into consideration. Speaking about Czech automotive market, which is my bread and butter, again I would say one word, which is stability. So of course the market was not always all the time evolving only in the positive way, but on the other hand we didn't have such big drops as, for example, in the last years on some other markets, or I would even say on most of the markets in Europe, and especially Eastern Europe or Central Europe. The market was rather steadily, in long term, let's say, was steadily growing, and it is something which is really probably quite different from the other countries, especially in this area like Hungary and Poland, who had really big ups and downs. Here it is rather steady growth or stagnation in the last year, but not like 50% down, which we can see in some other markets. A second very interesting, I would say, point is the pricing situation. There, on the other hand, we cannot speak about real stability, because there was quite an interesting development during the last years. Let's say maybe 2, 3, 4 years ago, Czech Republic was one of the highest priced markets for the new cars in Europe, whereas now it is absolutely the lowest priced market. So in Czech Republic, especially in the lower segments, you can get cars for absolutely the cheapest or best prices from all European countries. So this is quite an interesting factor, which is of course very advantageous for the customers, a little bit less advantageous for us, like distributors and for our dealers. I would say this is definitely something which should be taken into consideration once we want to describe, let's say, the characteristic of our market. It's also one good point probably to say that Czech market, and I would say fortunately, has never been deformed by some artificial governmental interventions like scrappage or something of this kind. So the market is very competitive. I think this competitiveness is also one of the factors why, for example, the prices are so much down at the moment. And there were a couple of major players who really started very aggressive approach and wanted really to purchase, so to say, market shares, and the consequence is now where we are. Now coming to first maybe about our brand, Opel, our targets and what we want to achieve here and which are our trends. So definitely Opel had some not really best years behind. I mean, the last 2-3 years were not really the best ones. Also in connection with GM's Chapter 11, blah blah blah. So yeah, we were losing a little bit our positions because traditionally Opel used to be really one of the leading brands in Czech Republic, and now I am on the position where I am I just started 1 year ago. So my clear task is now to get back the brand there where it used to be. I have to say we made already some good progresses. We managed to change this negative trend sometimes in the middle of the last year. And I have to say that the first month of this year, the first quarter 2011, is really showing very good improvement. We increased our market share quite considerably compared to the first quarter last year, and definitely we are on a good track. And now we need to keep it, and hopefully, I think we have good tools to do that. For example, the products that we have at the moment, the product range is really probably one of the best that the brand ever had in its portfolio. So this is something which is very strongly supporting us, and we hope that we will be able to keep this trend. And if we speak a little bit more generally about the market and about the evolution of automotive industry and automotive market, frankly, I do not foresee some big changes. Definitely there will be some changes on the side of the products. Again, there are big discussions about electric vehicles, for example, whereas I'm still a little bit skeptical. I don't think it will take like 50% penetration within a couple of years, because there are many things that need to be done for it, like infrastructure and so on, also the cost of these cars and also the range. So yeah, it's probably not, I don't think it will be so fast, but definitely product is one thing, and let's say the distribution channels and ways is another thing, and there I do not expect big changes. I think there will be always dealers who will try to find the customers who will find to get the best services and for their money. And I don't think there is something going to change dramatically, because I mean the main factors of the market will stay basically the same. So the people will want to get the best products for the best money, and the dealers will have to offer them the best services. Yeah, that's basically my, so to say, vision for the next couple of years at least. Let's say for some mid-term.
Oslavte s námi 20leté výročí značky Opel v České republice a získejte zvýhodnění až 150 000 korun na edici 20 let.
Opel, wir lieben Autos.